If you've ever seen Sex and the City, you know that Carrie never had a plan, Charlotte always had hope, Miranda tried to conquer her fears, and Samantha went after all of her desires. Let's use these well-known characters to learn about motivation in human design. See, human design is the study of decision-making. It's how you can use your unique energy based on your birthday, time of birth, and place of birth to make decisions that are always going to give you a positive, best-case scenario outcome. Over time, as you continue to make each decision correctly using your design, you end up with a life that is correct for you, a job that is correct for you, the money that's correct for you. You end up with everything being right, correct, and easy. The things you acquire by being in alignment with your design occur in the easiest and best way possible. In human design, there's such a thing as motivation. Motivation is the underlying energy that fuels each decision you make. When watching Sex and the City, we can see how motivation plays out in the lives of our main characters all the time. It's a very unconscious process, but by learning about it, you can become aware of how your motivation is fueling your decisions. Once you learn how to be aware if your motivation is correct or not, you can fine-tune your decision-making to keep getting best-case scenario outcomes for your life. Carrie. Carrie was clearly a dreamer. She was the star of the show with no plans. It was very clear that Carrie seemed to be innocently motivated. We knew she wanted to be a writer, and we knew she was comfortable in her home, but she didn't have a precise plan about how it would all occur, how all of her dreams would happen. It wasn't until the first movie where we can see that all of Carrie's dreams came to fruition. She got the partner she wanted, became a best-selling book author, and enough financial support to continue her love for fashion. We saw throughout the series how whenever she explained her life or her problems, it was always in the moment. There was never a plan or a hidden agenda behind the majority of Carrie's actions or behind the good things that happened in her life. Carrie never really had to plan out how she would go about achieving all the things she wanted for her life. It happened with no plan. This is how things work for people with innocent motivation. Charlotte. Charlotte had always wanted to be married and become a mother. One thing about Charlotte, she was always hopeful. She was hopeful in love and in her relationships. Charlotte came from a very prestigious and conservative background. When she met her first husband, Trey, she really tried to make things happen. She even accidentally proposed to herself, and it was through this action that she ended up in the opposite of her motivation, what we call transference. If Charlotte was hope motivation, her transference is guilt. When someone has hope motivation, they're not meant to try to fix things or create their own solution to solving things as a means of being motivated in their actions. Their actions should not be motivated by the desire to solve or fix, which is what Charlotte did after she tried to marry Trey. All of this led to a husband who couldn't fulfill her desires, and Charlotte kept trying to fix the situation. But once she realized it couldn't be fixed, she let go of the relationship and her hope. And it took her a while to finally regain that hope, but once she did, she bumped into her perfect husband with her perfect apartment, and they were able to have wonderful children. So you see, Charlotte could always have what she wanted, but her actions had to continue to be motivated by that underlying sense of hope without trying to fix things herself. Miranda. Miranda was a boss. She was the top of her field, she owned her own apartment, and she thought she knew what she needed. See, Miranda, in my opinion, was fear motivation. A lot of the things Miranda avoided was because of fear. She went back and forth about her relationship with Steve. She told her friends that she knew what she needed all the time without ever doing any investigation. When you're somebody with fear motivation, you have to be motivated by that fear to investigate and actually find out what you need. You can never just assume that you know what you need. Miranda ran away from fear over and over again. It wasn't until she found out that Steve had cancer that she acted on her fear, and she did the scary thing. She got pregnant, and for once in her life, she did another scary thing: transform. We saw that Miranda never lost her zeal or passion for life or being the boss, but when she decided to have her baby, she realized that she needed to make the scary decision to find out who she really was and not who she thought she was supposed to be. She had to do the investigation. Samantha. Samantha was the queen of desires, okay? She knew what she wanted and she knew how to get it. She didn't care how other people felt, and she would strategize and plan to get what she wanted. Desire is one of the easiest motivations to have as long as you have confidence, and Samantha definitely had that. Everyone around her tried to deter her from going after her desires and being an achiever, but she never backed down on who she was. Samantha started and ended the show with always getting what she wanted. We can see when she got into a relationship with an older man how it started so innocently, which was actually wrong for her. People who are innocently motivated, they don't need to have an agenda. It's good for them to have zero agenda and to just do things because they feel good. But if you're like Samantha and you have desire motivation, it is actually correct for you to move into things, for you to be taking action with the underlying motivation that you have an agenda that you're trying to get from point A to point B because you have a plan to achieve. So when Samantha was with her older guy, she wasn't clear about what she wanted from him from the start, and because of this, she suffered. It wasn't until she started acting from desire again that she freed herself and met the waiter, Smith. Sex and the City is a really great example of what human design motivation can look like. And if you've ever seen the show, I highly suggest going back to rewatch it with a lot of these things in mind. Tomorrow, on Tuesday, May 28th, motivation class is going to be available, 12 p.m. Eastern. Yes, it's going to be recorded. If you're at work, it's okay. Class will be available then. When you get off work, when you got some time, come back, take motivation class. You can be correct in all your human design choices and get the life that is right for you. Follow me for more human design.